What's up, guys? Welcome back to The Riff. Today is the big reveal. Leave a comment for a video suggestion, for a free Skype, whatever you want to call it. So I figured I'd go through the comments and speak on a couple of them and, maybe shed some light on what you guys are asking. So we'll dig into them and then I will pick the winner at the end. So Tony Gunk posts video idea, importance and use of amp biasing. This is really important, I think, to a gigging musician and to somebody who's trying to get the most they can out of their amp. And this is something I have spoke a little bit about before, and this is a great future video idea. Tony Martinez says, "Let's see some comping ideas, man." Wow, I mean, there are so many guys that do a great job of that. I like a lot of the you can. The one thing I try not to be is that guy that just goes plays the ninth chord for everything. So if you're playing like if you were doing like a and you're backing up a singer. There's different voicings you can do so it doesn't sound so stale and very... little sometimes even taking a chord like a 7 and sliding... Now sliding before the 4, like a sharp. Now before. Little things like that, and that's a great suggestion. I am by no means a chord expert or a guy that has a lot of knowledge, or like a huge chord vocabulary. I just try to play what's relevant and play tastefully and fit in just right without stepping on anybody's toes. But that is another great suggestion. Steve S says, video suggestion: how to set up one's pickup height, what to look for, and what to listen for. That's a great video idea. That's a great topic. Brett Colson Blues says, I would love to learn how to record these huge tones. Thanks for these videos, man. A few emojis. Brett is somebody I just connected with over Skype, and we went over some Stevie Ray stuff the other day. I use a Zoom Q8 video recorder or my iPhone and just a cheap $100 condenser mic. And I mic away from the amps when I'm in there, and I just adjust the volumes on the Q8. So it's a really basic, really like bare bones setup. I'm sure if somebody was a videographer or somebody who did this for a profession, they could shed some light on many different ways to make me and my videos sound better and look better. But it's just who I am. It's how I am, how I present my stuff to you, just straight, no frills. To the point. But thank you, Brett. That's a great question. My boy Lewis says, the topic of what it actually means about the tone being in your hands, how it relates to technique from both hands, and how it relates to gear. Jesus, talk about a heavy question with endless answers. Lewis, that's a great question. But I think that you can't really explain tone, playing, because it's so many... It's a combination of listening so much and understanding the little nuances that, like, a style you're trying to cop, finding those hidden little things in there, like like a Stevie thing, finding those little nuances, just the touch, you know, and that's something that is learned. I don't feel as though that can be taught or even explained. It's like a color, you know, really hard to explain that. Caleb Mayberry says video suggestion would be "Old Love" by Clapton. Man, I wouldn't even be able to do Eric Clapton justice. He's obviously a living guitar legend and a guitar hero, and he's Eric Clapton, and I'm the guy behind the camera talking about how great he is. You know, I could maybe pick it apart and put some important licks up if that's something you are interested in, Caleb. Thank you very much for your comment and suggestion. I appreciate it. Rudy's question takes up some space. It says, Nick, I know we've talked about biasing my amp, a reissue Super Reverb. Maybe you can go over from start to finish about selection of tubes, preamp tubes, power tubes, taking apart the amp, biasing the amp, cleaning and maintaining the amp in general itself. I guess a step-by-step video would be awesome. One of the first few videos I did, I replaced some microphonic tubes, but I see what you're saying, Rudy. Maybe in the future I could do like a breakdown of start to finish. You know, how I go about putting a new set of tubes in an amp. Maybe the next amp I have in for repair, what I'll do is I'll retube it and I'll walk you guys through it and show you guys what I do. But thank you, Rudy. That's a great suggestion. Jim Marciano says, I wouldn't mind hearing a breakdown of that jump blues you did the other day, the progression and how you approach soloing. Like, do you use one scale, multiple scales, or modes, or do you play over the chords or just in the one? Wow. My jump blues style is very sparse, and it's really garbage. I really like guys like Ronnie Earl, Duke Robillard, Neil Vitullo. Those guys are monsters, and again, that all comes in with the comping and the chord vocabulary. But I'm usually playing the major over the 1, the 4, and the 5, kind of hitting a few outside licks that my buddy Fret Junkies, Richie Peters, he's been giving me kind of like this little Facebook message, little tips, and kind of like a lesson in a way. You know, we'll talk for a little while and catch up on the week, and he'll show me some things to look into. So I've been doing that with him. And Richie's a monster player, and he's always trying to get better, and I really respect that about Richie, and he's a hell of a guy. But yeah, the jump blues thing, man, that's some amazing stuff. I wish I knew more. I wish I knew more enough to talk about it. But thank you for your suggestion. That was great. Jared Sams asks, how to tame a loud amp and still get a good tone when volume is an issue at a smaller gig. Also would love to see inside that modded Pro someday. We all would. A lot of the tricks I do if I need to get my amp up there is I'll turn it around backwards, so the back of the speakers are obviously facing the crowd. I will shield it maybe with a road case or some glass. And also, if I know I need to get the amp smoking and I'm playing in a smaller place, I'll maybe change a tube configuration. Like if it's a blackface style amp, I'll put like a 12AX7 in the V2 so it breaks up a little sooner. And maybe if I need it to break up really soon, I'll put a 12AX and also the phase inverter section. Bias a little warmer, going back to Rudy's comment, bias a little warmer and really just go from there and use your head, and you don't want to upset the sound guy, although they can be pain sometimes. They are getting paid to do a job, and if you're cool with them, they're cool with you, and they're there to make you sound good, and you're there to, keep a crowd happy and not blow anybody's ears out. So those are just some tricks I use to try to maintain a really loud amp. Mike Migrian, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Mike, I'm sorry. I think it would be helpful to see how you go about learning some of these songs. Maybe your process on breaking down a solo you want to learn. Thanks, Mike. Thank you for that. What I do is I'll listen a whole lot. I have an hour drive to work every day, so what I'll do is I'll just listen. If I want to learn a particular part, I'll listen to it nonstop so that the melody and the nuances and the little tricks are burned into my head. So when I'm alone playing it, my brain will say, no, that's not it. And I'll keep going. And, a lot of my stuff is once I get the feel for it, I kind of just play my own inflection on it. But what I'll do is I'll listen to it in repetitiveness nonstop and get it burned in my head, and then I'll go from there. And then Troy Marshall has a really, really cool one. He says, do a regular Q&A video. I know it's been done, but anyone who has your type of tone, playing style, taste, and gear, thank you. And you're interactive as a mofo, too. That's really nice, Troy. If there is a way, if you guys can hit me to how we could do a Q&A one day, I don't know if it just means leaving more questions, or maybe going to my Instagram, and what I can do, if you send the questions to my Instagram, maybe we can do like a weekly Q&A where everybody's questions I can answer them, because it's not going to be like there's so many I can't get to, because so if you guys wanted to head over to my Instagram, I'll put the link below, and you can flood my direct message box with questions, and maybe every week we'll do a Q&A. We'll do like a this week's questions corner, and we can all get our questions answered. It looks like Jim Marciano comes back in one more time. Maybe you could discuss at length which is better, Point Break or Roadhouse. Come on. So guys, there are a few of the suggested future video comments. I really, really appreciate all the feedback I got and the interaction. It was great for us to be able to interact like this. To pick one of the most importance, I would have to say that Steve S., your question about how to set up one's pickup height, what to look for, and what to listen to, I think that could be really helpful for guys having one guitar and trying to get that to sound as best they can. So if you want, I will do a future video on that, and if you send me a message on my Instagram, we can go forward with the Skype, so everybody can give Steve S. a big congratulations. He is the recipient of 1 hour of Skype time to talk tone, to talk licks, whatever he wants to do. And look forward to that future video. Again, I want to thank everybody for leaving the comments and suggestions. It was really great to interact with all you guys. And like I said, if you want to do a weekly questions thing, Q&A, 7 days from today, we'll do it every Saturday if you want. But you can send your questions to my Instagram DM, and I'll compromise them all into a piece of paper or something like that, and then I'll answer them all. So yeah, guys, again, Steve S., message me on Instagram, and we can move forward. I thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. We got more videos coming up this weekend. Everybody have a great weekend. Peace.